You know what? That sucks because I might have been talking on here for probably about a good 10 minutes. I got this mic that's supposed to work, Bluetooth or whatever. I don't know. But it's supposed to, make your audio sound better. But man, that sucks. All that time, you couldn't hear nothing I was saying. Well, thank you for letting me know. I won't be using that again. And I test this thing out. And it's supposed to be pretty good. And it is pretty good, but I don't know why it was not working right now. So y'all done missed all of that from my airport story and everything. And I got to start over. You got to be kidding me. You can hear me now, yeah. But everything else was on mute. I'm talking and I can't even be heard. So I got to back it up. So let me back it up. Let me back it up. I got to start from the top. I guess I better start from my airport story again, huh? Shoot. Because y'all didn't hear nothing I said from the beginning. So let me start with my airport story again. Like I was saying in the beginning, because I was not heard because of this microphone here. I won't be using this again. I'm going to have to test this out again. I guess it doesn't work on live. I don't know. So I got to start over. So let me start with my airport story. I start over. Okay, so I flew from Fort Lauderdale. That's where the ship, that's where we disembarked the ship at Fort Lauderdale. So I flew from Fort Lauderdale to Charlotte. That was on AA, of course. Got there, we boarded the flight. I'm ready to get home at this point. I'm like, okay, I'm about to be home. Last flight, my connecting flight, about to be home. Sitting there, and I put my neck pillow on, and got comfortable, got my bag up under the seat like they wanted, and everything. I whipped out my snacks, got my earbuds and everything, just ready. And, they getting ready to do their little safety presentation and all that. So, you thinking we get ready to take off, and we did not take off. So, next thing you hear is the pilot comes on and gives this announcement. It says it is not safe to fly this plane. So we had to get off. And we're thinking we're getting ready to board at another gate. They had the time up and everything. We only had to wait around about an hour. Then the next thing you know, I look up and the time changed to 4 something a.m. So they're telling us you're going to have to spend a night in the airport, or you can go to the hotel. They were giving out flight and meal vouchers for a hotel stay. But then I'm like, I turned it down because I felt like by the time I make it to the hotel, get settled, and finally fall asleep, I only had like this short window of time that I had to be back at the airport because we start boarding at 4 something. So I'm like, nah, I'm going to just stay. I'll use the meal voucher. Meal voucher was only $12. What can you get in the airport that's a meal for $12? Not much. A sandwich in the airport is $12. Therefore, you don't get no drink. You don't get no sides to go with it. So therefore, it's not a meal. That's a snack voucher, okay? So the only thing was open was Starbucks and some other a sandwich place that was at another terminal on the other side, which I wasn't going to go, to the other side of the airport looking for a meal. So just went to Starbucks, got a sandwich, and a bag of chips. That was all I can get for that meal voucher. And of course, you buy your drink and everything else out of your own pocket. So I did spend a night, slept in the hard chairs. Okay, and put my feet up on another. They did come around and pass out blankets and them little tiny, if you want to call them a pillow or whatever you want to call it, a pad, pillow, a piece of cushion or whatever you want to call it, cotton. That's all it was. Not my first time staying in the airport. Nothing for $12 in any airport. You got that right. Only a turkey sandwich. You can get a turkey sandwich for $12 in the airport at those little shops that look like little convenience stores. That's the only thing you're going to get for $12. Shoot. And at Starbucks, the bottle of water costs about $5. So, but yep. So I did, like I said, buy some things out my pocket after I used up their little $12. Thank you, AA, for the $12. And for offering a hotel voucher for I think it was at the Best Western. But anyway, if I would have went and that hotel was not as clean, I would have been disappointed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You like my hair? Thank you. But anyway, so, I couldn't complain. I didn't mind sleeping in the airport. I'd rather be safe than sorry, okay? Or not be able to say sorry or be able to see anybody anymore, okay? Come to find out, it was something going on with the sensors on the plane. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 sensors. I did not care. I'm glad that we did not fly. However, some other passengers were not. They had they went to aviation school. So they if it just 1 sensor, we could have still fly. Long as we don't go above 10,000 feet. I did not go to aviation school. I do not know. And I wasn't trying to figure it out, and I'm not looking for the what ifs. I'm just glad that that the decision was made not to fly, and that it was said that it is unsafe, and they kick our butts off the plane. I don't mind spending the night in the airport. I done spent the night in the airport before, so it did not bother me. And they did bring us those little thin little toilet paper blankets, alive and well instead. You got that right, then sorry, okay? You got that part right. So, yep. So, made it back home safely, as you can see, on Saturday morning. So, it did not bother me. I didn't have nothing that I had to rush home and do, So, I am here, and I get to travel some more, because that could have been my last trip. Possibly. I don't know. But I'm glad to be here. But anyway, so, yep, I am back off of a 12-day cruise. Never done a 12-day cruise in my life. I think the longest cruise I ever done was about 6 days. That 12 days ain't for the week. You hear me? 12 days ain't for the week. I'm just kidding. I did 12 days. It didn't really seem like 12 days. I probably could have gone some more days just to go to sleep a little bit, But it was not bad at all, After a while, I started to forget what day of the week it was. If they did not pass out them little papers, I would not have known what day of the week. I had a hard time keeping up with what time it was. They tell you to look on the app for the time, and sometimes that app does not show the same time that they're showing in the hallway. So they do, on that cruise, they do have the monitors in the hall on your way to the elevator, at every elevator. Just about, you can find a monitor near, whether it be right at the elevator or somewhere near, and it will show you the ship time, and it will show sometimes some of what's going on. Like I was showing earlier, until someone told me that I could not be heard. They give you, about this cruise line, what I like, you get something called a medallion. They actually sent our medallions in the mail. I was able to get the medallions prior to us leaving to go on the cruise. And it actually is pretty cool. Comes with your name on it. So yeah, they got my first and last name on there. It made the check-in process pretty easy. 12 days, it was a great experience. I didn't know day or time. I know you didn't. Me either. But yeah, so the medallion, it comes in the mail. If you don't get it in the mail, you can get it prior to boarding the cruise at the cruise port at your terminal. We did have priority boarding, so we didn't have to wait in any lines. Not really, except for once we got to the kiosk to actually check in and board. So it was pretty much a speedy boarding process for us. One of our medallions did have it was not active. So only one of the travelers' medallion was not active, which was no problem at all. They already had a medallion waiting for her. Actually had her name on it, was sitting right at the counter. So it's not like we had to stand around and wait for a while. The person was able to go right to the counter, pick it up, come back with it, and give it to her. And the check-in process was speedy. So we're not waiting around, and with that priority boarding, we were able to board at any time. The thing I like about these medallions is that they have a chip in them. So even sometimes you don't even have to scan it across the door. It knows the some kind of way, whatever, because of the chip and the sensors or whatever. They know when you are approaching. The sensor on the door knows when you are approaching. You can just walk up and just turn the knob to enter without having to worry about scanning it across. Sometimes you may have to, and sometimes you don't. Another cool thing about this medallion, it can tell you if you're with, other travelers. You can go walk up to one of the staff that's standing at a kiosk or whatever, and they can tell you where that traveler is located at on the ship. Like I was saying before, I knew that my mic was not working. We were in a accessible cabin. So with the accessible cabin, when you walk up, you can just hit this button and it'll open the door. You know how accessible doors work and all that great stuff. So for some reason, we were locked out of ours. I don't know if the room attendant forgot to hit, I guess he forgot to hit the switch back or whatever they were trying to explain. But there's like a switch at the top of the door to so that button will work when you hit it for the door to automatically open and close back on its own. So he must have accidentally flipped the switch the opposite way or whatever, or forgot. So we were locked out and could not get in. And we were uncertain if the other traveler that was with us was already in the cabin. So they were able to look on the monitor and they can tell if someone was in there, and they knew that that person was not in there. They were able to tell us where the other person was, and they were like, oh, she's in the theater. So that's pretty cool that, they could tell where you are on the ship as long as you have this medallion with you. I actually lost my medallion one night. We were at dinner and I just took it off. I guess we were taking a picture or something. It dropped on the floor and didn't think nothing of it till I got back in the room or whatever. I guess it dropped. Well, it didn't drop on the floor. It was attached to my cousin and I didn't know it. But I went back to the dining room, the main dining, and they were able to tell me where it was located. It was like, it's in your room. So, went back to the room to search, and there it was. So it's pretty cool, the way this works, that they have a chip in this, in the way that it works, So if you lose it, they can tell you exactly where it is. If you're looking for somebody, they'll tell you where they are. So they cannot hide from you on the ship if they wanted to. So, oh, that's pretty cool thing they got going on here. So I talked about the food a little bit. My mic was not working. But like I said, Princess it's a different cruise. And I could say try it out. They're not lacking in the entertainment department. They are not lacking in the food department. Plenty of food to eat. Plenty of eateries on board. The buffet has great options for you. You may find that some days they're serving, well, just about every day, you'll find some items are repeat items on the buffet. But you won't go hungry on Princess. They have plenty of bread on board. That I can say is plenty of bread going around on that ship. I don't know why so much bread, but they have a lot of bread. You will find that there's a lot, and a lot of desserts too. If you're a person that likes sweets, cakes, and donuts and all that stuff, and cookies, you'll get enough of that on Princess. You get a lot of it. You won't be lacking in your sweets with your sweet tooth on Princess. They got plenty of it on the buffet, and when you go to the main dining, you can order all. You want 2 desserts, honey? You can order you 2 desserts if you want to. You want 2 entrees? You can order. They're not gonna charge you for the extra entree. You can order a little bit of everything on the menu if you want to. Believe me, I tried. So you will not go hungry on board. You will not be bored on board because they have entertainment going on all the way up until I think about 1 o'clock at night or a little bit after 12. From early that morning till late at night, they have something you can catch. Some show you can catch, some type of entertainment, trivia, bingo, you name it. They got it going on Princess. The bread never ends. You right, the bread don't end. Bread for breakfast, bread for lunch. You want a snack, they got some bread. They got more and hard bread too. Some of that bread was hard. But you know, they got sandwich for days. All kind of sandwiches, tomato and mozzarella, whatever you want, just about, they got it. So, you know, the staff is friendly on board. They take real good care of you on Princess. As far as I've seen, yes, there are quite a bit of older travelers on Princess cruises. However, you know, it should be more a variety of different age groups on board, but some people don't know about Princess or not willing to try it out because they feel like it's for, you know, senior citizens or whatever, the older crew. But there were a few on board that were kind of young. But I feel like it should be more if people just knew more about Princess cruises. Yeah, entertainment from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. You got that right. That's right. They start early in the morning on Princess, okay? They gonna make sure their passengers are not bored. But yes, there should be, you know, more of a variety of travelers on board. But like I said, you know, some people are not willing to get on there if they don't know much about it. And I was just happy to be on board so I can share more about Princess Cruise with people to kind of get them interested in traveling on Princess. And like I said, you know, you get friendly staff. They treat you right on board. The cabins are not bad. The ship is not overwhelming. You meant 1 a.m. Yeah. I get what you're saying. They do, you know, keep your cabins pretty tidy. You know, they come in and straighten up in the mornings for you, clean the cabin for you in the mornings and everything. And they do turn down service. So, you know, I enjoyed my time on board. Nice cruise ship, nice sailing, and friendly staff. And like I said, you will not get bored. And if you love to shop, you will find some shops on Princess and some sales. One day on board, they were having a $10 sale. So, you know, if you ain't go to spend a whole lot, you will find some sales on Princess. You're going to come back with some stuff. Okay? So it's things to do. If you want to just, you know, not do much of anything, hang out on the pool deck, you can do that. And they have live music. That's what I loved about that was the, you know, the variety of live music on board. You know, it wasn't always the same band. They had different bands. They were flying people in and out for the entertainment, okay? We pull into one port, somebody else hopping on, people, some entertainment hopping off at different ports. They were flying people in to entertain us. So when I tell you, you will not be bored, you will not be bored. We had different comedians flying in and out on board, okay? We had, you know, variety of entertainment on board. When we got in Curacao, they had entertainment hop on board while we were in port, and they stayed on board until I think about what was it, 9:30, 10 o'clock? They were getting off board. I recorded them leaving. I missed the show. I was so mad I missed the show. I forgot all about it. I got back off the ship and went to hang around the port area or whatever and use some Wi-Fi. Okay. And forgot all about the colorful Caribbean show that they put on. So that sucked. But I did get to see them leaving. I was back on the ship when they were getting off the ship. But I heard it was a pretty good show. But I was able to catch other entertainment while on board. So, but they were not, you know, going to be on board long. They were just there to do 2 shows back to back. And then they had to get off board. 3 for $25 sale. Yep. They have the 3 for $25 sale on the cruise as well. And like I said, the $10 sale. And you can get you some free jewelry. I got plenty of free jewelry on board. I got one cousin who loves the jewelry shop. So she stayed there. Every time they were having something, you can find her at the jewelry shop. Okay? So, you know, once I got tired of going, she started collecting and, you know, getting the jewelry for me herself. So, but she collected quite a bit of jewelry, pieces of jewelry, okay? But don't tell nobody. Now, if y'all get some of that stuff for Christmas, don't tell nobody, okay? Don't tell her I said where it came from. Just let y'all know. Just act like you don't know. But anyway, we did have a great time. The food, was pretty good. I could say the food was pretty good. You had other options. If it was something you didn't like, you can always, find something else to eat. So the food was pretty good. They did have the grill, but they had the hamburgers. They even had Carolina barbecue, pulled pork on board. They had grilled hot dogs, or it was either hot dog or a sausage. Those was pretty good. They had fries. You could get loaded French fries on board. Trying to think of what else they had. They had so much. You could go get the pizza from the little pizza stand. Unlimited ice cream, and they even put sprinkles on it. And they had the ice cream swirl and all of that. Now, the gelati was extra. If you wanted some gelati, you got to pay extra. And that's on just about any cruise ship. Unless you got, I think if you have the package, you could get that at a discounted price, or possibly it could be included. I have to double check that. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, it was a great time. You ain't had to put the name of the jewelry store up there. A lot of people gonna know when they get that in their Christmas stocking where it came from. Goodness. But yes, we ate a little bit of everything on board, especially in the dining room. You don't tell us that you could order whatever you want. That's what they said at the table. Oh, yes, ma'am. You can order whatever you want. You can order whatever you want to. You want to try it, you can try it. Or they'll bring you out a shared plate as well. Like, if everybody at the table want to sample something and you don't know if you may like it or not, they can bring you out like just one plate of it for you to share with who's ever at your table. So we did a lot of sampling. We did a lot of eating on board the ship. We did a lot of eating. That I can say. We did a lot of walking too, but we walked. Did a lot of walking too. So whatever pounds I may have put on, I got them off by walking. A lot of walking. Did a lot of walking. 3 entrees per person. Yeah, 3 entrees per person. She ain't kidding. 3 entrees per person and dessert. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 entrees per person. They feed you well on Princess. I'll give it to them. They will feed you well. And even in between that, we were going to, whatever event was in between that had food. I mean, they got food all over the ship. So I was like, come on, let's go to this. They got this event at 3. I got to be down in there at 3 o'clock. They got food in there. So you're going to eat well on Princess. And like I said, you will not be bored. They have plenty of entertainment on board from sun up to sundown. Plenty of entertainment, a little bit of everything for everybody. They even have kids club. They got the gym. They got the yoga, but the yoga is an extra charge if you want to do that. If you're a pickleball lover, they got pickleball. I went up there once. It's on a higher deck outside. It was hot. But I went up there once, and you'd be surprised. A lot of people love pickleball. I mean, it's a great sport. So, but like I said, if you're a pickleball lover, you get your pickleball time in on board Princess. And they have the track. You love to get your walk in. If walking around the ship is not enough for you, they got a whole track you could walk around. So it's quite a bit to do there on Princess Cruise. I would say try it out. Like I said, a lot of different age groups do not get on board because some people seem to think that it's just for the elderly, and it is not. Even though it was majority elderly on board with us, but it was still fun. It was still fun. It was still different, and they like to party. Okay, they like to get down. Okay, so and I do have some videos coming out that I will be posting on YouTube. I've been doing some editing, so I will be putting them up. I'm trying to see if I can reach 100 subscribers before I start releasing my videos of our time on Princess, so you can check out our experience on Princess. You know, when you're cruising, the experience is different for some of everybody, because people, you know, everybody vacations in their own style, in their own way. You know, everybody attends different, their liking and different entertainment may be different, you know, pick and choose different entertainment to attend. So, hopefully you will like my videos and they will be interesting to you. But like I said, I'm trying to see if I could get to 100 subscribers before I start releasing those, videos. I probably release like 1 or 2, different little short videos, but before I start releasing like our whole travel, because I did do quite a bit of recording on board. I try to do a lot of recording when I am traveling, so that I could come back and share. You may see something that may interest you. It may be a destination that you're willing to try out or whatever. So, or something there that you can learn about or discover that may be different. That may be something you may not know that you may find within my videos. So, and I do put in a lot of work. Okay, so when I'm vacationing / working, I'm doing a lot of recording in between time, and then I'll stop for a while so that I can enjoy myself. So I try to record just enough to share, and then, you know, cut it off and enjoy myself while I'm out there. So, but I just wanted to hop on and share. Thank you, Aunt Joanne. She did an awesome job and so proud of you. Thank you. I work hard. At least I try to. But not really too hard. It is fun. Doing what I do is fun. It's fun being out there and being able to just show what I'm doing, where I'm at. That's the fun part of it. You know, and being able to bring back information. That's what I like to do. Content. That's right, content. Everything is content. What you eat, what you drink, it is all content. The camera got to eat before you eat. The camera got to drink before you drink. You better know it. When you swim, the camera gonna swim. I'm just kidding. But yes. I had to make them stop and show their food before they were able to eat. So, but they did have a great time. They enjoyed themselves. I was happy to have them on board with me. Most of the time, I'm traveling with my daughter. Majority of the time, you see me with my daughter. That's my travel buddy. But she was not with me this time. So, but anyway, I was just happy to be out there, like I said, and happy to share whatever I can and whatever information I can while I'm out there. So, but if you've been watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and following me and liking my stuff. Whenever you click like, I appreciate that. Whenever you comment, I appreciate that. That lets me know that you like it, that it's interesting, you know. And if you don't, it's okay. If you just like to just side watch, I'm okay with that too. But anyway, thank you, and I appreciate all of you that do tune in and that do watch and follow. Like I said, I'm trying to get more subscribers on that YouTube. I want to get it up to 100. So please like and share the YouTube content, okay? And I'm going to call it a night. And I'll be back again because I got more to share. Of course I do. 12 days. Come on, I got more. But yeah, try it out. If you haven't done like a 5 or 6 day sailing, try it out. 7 day, try it out. If you never cruised, try it out. Cruising is fun. You can find some fun in cruising. And it's a great way to get out there and see multiple destinations in one trip. And then, you know, if it's a destination that you like, you can always make plans to fly back out there and vacation. That's the thing about, that's what I love about cruising. I'm able to, you know, see different islands in one trip, depending on how long of a sailing you're on. And if I like it, I can always fly back and vacation there, because I got to experience a little bit of it and want to see more of it, like Curacao. I got to get back there, y'all. I got to go back to Curacao. There's some things to do and Curacao. I got to get back to British Virgin Island because, baby, there's some things to do in the British Virgin Island. Didn't get to do it. We didn't have a long day there, so we mostly just did the port in the British Virgin Island. But there's other things I want to do there that will require longer time. So that's like you have to fly back there and stay to get the full experience of it. So that is on the list. And of course, Antigua. I gotta fly back there. Definitely. They got sandals there, y'all. Gotta fly back there. It's beautiful. I gotta fly back there. But that is it for tonight. I will be back in a couple of days. I will give a warning the next time I decide to go live, okay? But good night. Thank you for watching.